Oh, what up, and welcome to the only leveling guide that you will ever need for the Outlast trials. It is by far one of the quickest, simplest, and easiest methods to earn as much XP as possible in the game. Now before we begin, I want to make it very clear that there are many methods other than mine. For instance, using the X-ray rig and using throwables to distract, damage, or disarm enemies and traps. It is viable, but relies a lot more on RNG, which can increase the time it takes to complete the trial, in comparison to my method, which I find to be much more reliable. And also, just to make your gaming experience as easy and as enjoyable as possible, I would always recommend changing these settings in your options. First of all, we have auto hide stamina. This should literally be enabled by default, because managing stamina is very important, especially when you're leveling up as well, and you don't have all of the prescriptions and perks yet. Enabling noise and darkness indicators are also very helpful because they give you more information on how alert the enemies are about your location, if they can hear you, and it helps to avoid accidentally hiding in an area that you thought was dark enough, but it actually wasn't. Then there are just some quality of life features, such as seeing information about your group, and disabling head bobbing if you have motion sickness or you just want a better view of your surroundings whilst you're moving and running. Right, now onto the guide. Starting off with the prerequisites. All that you need is the Barricade rig, ideally at level 6, and that is literally it. The Smash skill lamp and the tier 2 speed boost prescription are honourable mentions, but other than that, everything else is genuinely a luxury. Now, once you have what you need, head over to the terminal and select the trial maker. Choose release the prisoners as the trial, and then for the variators, use low enemy density. This one is crucial because it keeps you safe and prevents Coil from spawning and patrolling in the security room, which is the room that you're going to be in for the majority of this trial. Next is extra door traps. This one is optional since it only gives an additional 15 XP for every door that you disarm using the barricade, but it doesn't hurt to bring it. Then we have extra throwables. This one is pretty important as well, because you have to find at least one brick for this to work. And last but not least, exit rush, just so that we can escape the trial a little bit faster at the end. Also, the trial code will be available in the description, so feel free to simply copy and paste it to save yourself some time, or so that you can share it with a friend. Now onto the trial. First of all, make sure to use your rig at every possible moment, because it helps get the last amount of XP needed to reach the 2000 XP performance limit. You need 300 XP to be exact, but don't worry, it is very easy to get. So make sure to grab every throwable that you come across, especially any bricks, and use them on every trap and enemy, as that also helps with getting the last amount of XP needed. Just by using the barricade on the door and destroying the floor trap, I've already earned 110 XP. So when I said it was very easy to earn that amount, I really wasn't lying. Also, if possible, grab at least 2 posters before getting into the security room, because there is always one in there allowing you to complete your second objective. But if you can't, it's not a big deal. Damaging the enemy also gives 25 XP each time, but I'm mostly just doing this for fun since I have some bottles to spare and I also just need to get them away from that door. So again, you see I'm using my rig at every available opportunity to get more XP and to make sure that I reach that cap. And then by the time that I've made it through here and destroyed that floor trap, we have pretty much gotten that 300 XP that we needed. We also only have 2 posters, but don't worry, it's nothing to fret about. Next is the most important part of this guide. First of all, barricade this door, and then immediately bash it. Close the doors, and then keep throwing the brick at the floor whilst the rig recharges. Follow the rule of 3 by doing this a total of 3 times, and don't worry about the brick breaking because it won't. Also, you can keep the throw button held down, so you only need to spam the pick up and throw button. After you've done that 3 times, you then have to do it another 3 times, but instead of throwing bricks at the floor, you enter this hiding spot back here 4 times. But if it's blocked, don't worry, any hiding spot will do, but it just might take a little bit longer to do. And I never said this was a fun way to farm XP, but it is certainly the fastest method that I've found. Also, if you've completed the secondary objective at this point, you only have to repeat this process twice instead of 3 times. I just use the posters because I'm most familiar with them, but you can choose any secondary objective that you like. And for those of you wondering why I don't mention the respawn pills, unfortunately using them doesn't give XP, so it's a complete waste of time. After you've finished, barricade the door again and then bash through it towards the objective. Whilst you're locked in here, waiting for this to end, you could throw a few bricks around just in case if you don't think you've hit that 25 limit, but realistically you should have. The door that you bashed through earlier will close itself after you release the prisoners, so you can go back to it and barricade it one last time to guarantee reaching that 2000 XP performance limit. We were also lucky enough to complete the secondary objective on the way out, but at this point it would only give us an additional 250 XP. And then all that's left now is to use up any of our throwables on our way out, and there we go. As you can see, it took under 5 minutes to complete, and it takes hardly any effort. Here are the performance stats just to show how little you actually need to do, and this is basically the min-max of XP farming, because as you can see, boom, the maximum amount you can earn per trial. And so there we are. I hope this guide has proven to be helpful and useful, and if so, please let me know by liking, subscribing and leaving a comment, because it does help me and the channel out a lot, and I really do appreciate it. Plus, if you guys have any suggestions or ideas to make this method even faster or easier, feel free to throw them my way. But anyways, that is all for now. I thank you guys for watching my video until the very end, and I'll hopefully catch you later. So, take care.